Today's episode is brought to you by Grampian Graphics, Aberdeen's vehicle branding and wrapping specialists. If you want to turn your vehicle into a moving advert for your business, their expert team can design and install high-quality wraps that get your brand noticed everywhere you go. From single vans to fleets, Grampian Graphics creates bold, eye-catching designs that help businesses stand out on the road. A professionally wrapped vehicle works for you 24 hours a day, promoting your business wherever you drive. To see their latest work or get a quote, search Grampian Graphics on social media. Grampian Graphics, style that sticks.
Welcome back to the Sheepfiddlers Podcast, following Aberdeen FC through every twist, turn and a bit of chaos along the way. Coming up this week, the latest news from Pittodrie as the players return for pre-season, Liam's World Cup report from the USA, and the final chapter of our season review as we look back at the campaign's dramatic finish. Get settled, turned up, and let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the Sheepfiddlers Podcast. As always, I'm joined by the lads and we've got plenty to get through this week. Coming up on today's show, we'll be covering all the latest Aberdeen news as preparations continue for the new season, including the latest signings, contract extensions and everything happening around Pittodrie. We'll also hear from Liam, who's been living the dream over at the World Cup, as he gives us a report from across the pond on the atmosphere, the travel, and what it's been like experiencing football on the biggest stage of all. And finally, we'll wrap up the season review series. This week, we'll look at how the season has reached its conclusion, and we'll give our thoughts on the campaign that certainly gave us plenty to talk about. But first, let's get into the latest from Aberdeen, because it's been another busy week at Pittodrie. Yeah, you'd think pre-season was around the corner, wouldn't you? And League Cup just a couple of weeks away. Mental. Can't wait for it to be back.
Super. Yeah, I can't wait as well. But it just doesn't feel like we've been away for football in our way. We're not that far away.
So, as I said, pre-season got underway on Thursday. So it's all system go in preparations for the new campaign. In terms of business, a few deals have now been confirmed with the transfer window opening. So Tayosi Olasanya has made his move from Houston permanent. I think that's one a lot of fans will be happy with. He showed enough in the second half of the season to earn that deal. He's definitely a player there who can kick on, and especially with a pre-season under his belt.
Yeah, definitely. I think some key words in there. I think having pre-season under the belt is pretty crucial. I think he came to us with no game time. So I think that'll make a massive difference getting a pre-season under his belt, to be honest. And I think he deserves it. I think he did well for us when he was with us.
Yeah.
I know he wasn't a goal threat in terms of him his shooting skills, but I think very much he provided goals in a way because of what he did on the park, and gave a bit of a fight, didn't he? Really, to be honest,
it's all about his work rate. He just doesn't stop, and he gets in defenders' faces, and you see it week in, week out in Scottish football. How many goals come from a defensive error? And you put people under pressure because they're playing in Scotland. They're not wall beaters, and they make mistakes, and you've got to be in the position to punish them.
Yeah, totally do. I think
he started to develop a partnership with this bit as well.
I did, 100%. I totally agree with that. I think you could see that. You could see them trying to work together really well.
Yeah.
I think he just needs a proper pre-season. I think there's a different player there. I've seen some TikToks, the players doing off-season work, and I've seen one video of him working with a coach. I don't know if it was in Scotland or not, but his finish was incredible. So, I think from that perspective, I think he came to us with no game time for the back end of the season. He never really got a chance in respect of to be fit. He was thrown in to play. As soon as he doesn't score a goal, the fans are on his back because they think, he's not a goal scorer. He loses confidence. And I think you've seen that as the season went on, he got fitter and he became more Yeah, he did score a couple of goals. I get that. He should score a lot more, but like at least you could see more about him. So I think having a pre-season, I think it'll settle into the team.
Definitely. But I think as well, going back to the partnership with Kevin Nisbet, it lets Nisbet do what Nisbet does best, which is just hang about in the middle of the box, in between the two sticks, and just look for a tap-in.
Yeah, I agree.
And sniff out that chance, because that's what he's good at. If he's having to, chase down lost causes and stuff, he's not going to be there. He needs to be the person who's on the receiving end of the lost causes that we win.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They're a good foil for each other, the pair of them.
Yep, definitely. Another player that's been touted to be signing for Aberdeen for a long time was finally signed. So Connor Ronan came in from Colorado Rapids. We touched on this one last week. He worked under Stephen Robinson at Severin. So the manager knows exactly what he's getting from him. He was originally signed by Goodwin, but, Robinson's clearly a fan, and there's a familiarity there.
Yeah, agreed. A good player. He was a good player when he was younger as well. So, from what I've seen out of the States and stuff, he's a good player. I think there's been a couple of comments around fitness level in respect of how many times he's been injured, etc. But to be honest, I don't think you can really look at past previous things, because anything can happen. In the respect of injuries for anyone, it doesn't make a difference. And you could go now on 2-3 seasons and not be injured completely at all. So I think from a creativity perspective, I think this guy is exactly what we need.
Yep. 100%. I think as well, looking at, listening to what he said and doing a bit of research on him, he's dropped back a little bit. So he was a sort of 10 before, but he's now dropped into that 8 and 6 kind of area. So he's dropping back to get on the ball, which is, kind of what we wanted to see from Clarkson a bit more. So for someone who's a bit more familiar with Scotland, that looks like it could be a replacement there for him.
No, very good.
Yeah. So, I think it's a good bit of business for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think just confirming these two now on the back of the 3 that we sent previously to the 4 we sent previously. I think it's good. We're getting everyone in kind of really in for the start of the season. I know we touched on this last week, but set the standard of getting the people in before the season starts.
Exactly.
It's good to get the team together instead of like over the last few seasons we've had more later signings in the windows, etc. And that's not to say that will happen, but at least you can get core players in.
And then you're not chasing.
Yeah.
You're doing the right deals.
Yeah.
But I think as well the fact that these are all frees that we've signed as well. It's good business from the club.
Yeah.
I think this is my favourite part of the news, this week, that Alfie Babbage and Alfie Stewart have both signed extensions. Two players have really wanted to stay at the club. Babbage in particular looked like he could be on the way out at one point. Mm-hmm. He was told at one point he wasn't getting a deal. So. Obviously with the change of manager, Lutz has come in as well. He's had a look at them both and they want to sign them. So I'm delighted. It does show that the club will give chances to young players. We just need to get them on the pitch now.
Yeah.
That's 3 players with Finlay Marshall as well, knocking on the manager's door that there is a pathway from development, and hopefully they get game time that shows that as well.
I would agree with that. I think for what Alfie, I know, Alfie Babbage and Alfie Stewart have both done really well last season in Cala, and I get that's a drop down on probably the quality that we would expect for an Aberdeen team. But they can only do what they can do on the pitch of where they are.
Yep.
They're also going to have an opportunity this pre-season to show Stephen Robinson what they're about and see if they can get themselves into the squad. Otherwise, they will go on loan again.
Yep.
And if anything, it'll probably be championship potentially, and again a step up.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, this is their opportunity in the next 4 or 5 weeks to show, or even the whole window, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
That they can actually be a part of the squad.
Yeah.
And it's quite interesting in their interview. I think Babbage's interview, I think they understand that. They understand that they still need to show and prove themselves to the manager.
Oh, definitely.
Which I like that. They've got fighting them to even though it's only a year's extension, I think the extension also has an option to extend that, if that makes sense. So, I think you're right. Pathway is important.
Yeah, it's definitely important.
Three young players you mentioned there, all played together, all played in the Scottish Cup. I think they played in the Scottish Cup final together. So these are young boys who have all been together.
Won a league together as well.
You think back about the success of a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Even Aberdeen back in the 80s were built on a lot of younger generation players working together. Class of 92 for Man United, and look what that did.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to start building from
100%.
youth.
Completely agree with everything there. Yeah. I think as well as, with Shinnie obviously going, this is 3 young players, Aberdeen loons coming through. It keeps that Aberdonian part of the team in there, which I think is really important as well. And I hope they get a chance in pre-season and in the League Cup.
Yeah.
And if Robinson is a man of his word, and if they're good enough, they're old enough, then hopefully, I would personally rather they stayed and actually played for the first team. But if they're going to give more benefit from going, if they're not quite there to really push for lots of minutes, then they should go out on loan.
Yeah, agreed. To be honest with you, I think this is probably the first manager we've had quite a while who I actually trust. I think he will play youth.
Yeah.
I think you go back to Darren McInnes, hardly ever fucking played youth.
No.
And then Thelen, we could say, he probably signed like a frame, for example, didn't play him.
Yeah.
But yet we're seeing how good he actually is.
Yeah.
So there's, could win. No, not really. Rob was the only one that did actually play a little bit of youth. But other than that, I don't really trust anyone we've had. And I think Robinson, I think we're fortunate because we finished where we did last season. I think we were a top 6 club.
Yeah.
I don't know if these guys get a chance because I don't think they're ready for that step up.
Yeah.
But because we've been finishing the bottom 6, I think they've got an opportunity to stay their place in the team, in the squad.
Yeah.
So crack on. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to see them play. To be honest, they played pretty well for Carlisle last year. So if they can get some game time in the League Cup, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah. So now there was a third signing this week. Now this one came out of nowhere. Yeah. There was even pictures of a strange man in Aberdeen training gear, and everyone was like, "Who's this?" It turns out it was Tony Yogain, who joined from Brentford for an undisclosed fee. Mm-hmm. So we've paid money here. He spent last season on loan at Dundee. 1 goal and 5 assists. Doesn't really jump off the page, but he's very highly rated at Brentford. At just 20 years old, I think we should be getting a player that's on the rise, and we should see more from that. An attacking. He likes to take players on, apparently, and that's what you want from a winger here.
Yeah, agreed. Obviously highly rated. Obviously Presley knew him from Brentford as well when he took him to Dundee.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of him last year, he was pretty good. Pacey. As you say, he's definitely got to be on the rise. If he had a good season with Dundee last year, you would think he could just kick on from that.
Yeah,
definitely surprised. It was interesting in the photo on X, and people were, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And then it was eventually announced who it was really basically. So, yeah, good.
Yeah. And finally, there could be a new face to the coaching staff as well. Stephen Craigan has been linked with coming in. He worked with Robinson before, obviously, at Motherwell. So again, that's a familiarity, easy enough for me to say. He's coming in as a pathway coach, apparently, working with youth players and how to get them transitioned into the first team.
Yeah, love that word.
Yeah, love it. Love a bit of transitioning.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think he did that in Motherwell previously as well. So
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. We've also seen how some talented players have come out of Motherwell as well. So, probably we've kind of talked before. And Craig's probably not our biggest fan, but look, at the end of the day, he's paid to go and do a job here.
Exactly.
So that doesn't matter.
And somebody that was, a defender in his day.
Yeah, true.
He might be able to help us in the defensive side of things. As always, we're looking at the positive sides of things and not my personal feelings towards the man. But
yeah, true. Very true indeed.
So yeah,
true indeed.
So that's all the news that have come out of Pittodrie this week. So that's enough of Aberdeen for now. One man has had slightly more glamorous week than the rest of us, and that is Liam, who's been out in the United States taking in the World Cup. While we've been keeping an eye on the transfer rumours and pre-season preparation, he's been experiencing football on a truly global scale. Let's hear how Boston has treated you in the last week and what it's been like being there in the stadium watching Scotland playing a World Cup. Liam, how's the World Cup treating you?
Right, so back on home soil after the shambles of our flight home being cancelled 24 hours before it was meant to take off. But, that's over now. I can just look back on an incredible week with the Tartan Army. second time going abroad with them, second major tournament, and we are the best. We are so fucking good. We've once again gone abroad, invaded a country, and the locals don't want us to leave. You'd think all the drunken, obnoxious, loud behaviour would piss somebody off at some point, but when you do it in the way that we do, where we are polite, friendly, funny overall, of course everyone falls in love with us. And for a country that's so big on football, every week all these guys have been screaming abuse at each other from whatever club it is they support. For a week, it didn't matter, who you supported, where you came from, colour of your skin, religion you follow. For that 1 week, we are Scotland, and we are fucking incredible. It was just a whole party. Basically, all we did was drink, boogie, and have a good time. I think the best part of it probably was the boat trip that we went on round Boston Harbour. Just a absolute bedlam on a ship. There's points where, everyone's up on the roof, jumping up and down. You go inside and it looks like the fucking thing's about to cave in on itself. I don't know how that stayed intact. But yeah, it just, 4 hours of free drink and Scottish songs and just having a laugh. It was amazing. And followed that up with a walk through the streets of Boston with Craig Ferguson, the boy who walked from LA to Boston, and I think his name's Sully, the TikTok boy. Us and a few of them, their posse, were dancing through the streets of Boston, making up songs, having a great time. We came across a couple who had just got married, walking around with their photographer, so of course we bombarded them, jumping up and down singing "No Scotland, No Wedding." We're just amazing. And the best part about that is all we've done is gone out there and have a good time, and the Simon Jordans and Jason Cundys of the world are absolutely furious. It's just so good. Overall, just the best time. But it wasn't perfect. There was some parts of it that, the football. Cut to the chase. The football was disappointing. The atmosphere in the or heading to the stadium, again, it was just that party atmosphere. We're all having a great time. But then, for a place that is supposedly has 60,000 coming every single week or whatever, it just doesn't seem like it is actually set up for that many people showing up. Traffic, trains, whatever, it was just a bit of a shambles, getting to the ground, getting away from the ground. Obviously, once inside, the stadium itself is properly impressive. Properly impressive. The atmosphere that the Scottish fans created before kick-off was a lot of fun. The Moroccans were good chat as well. In terms of the game itself, I feel like the tactics we set out with, we went there to try and draw 0-0. Obviously, fucked that up after 70 seconds, and I think with the way we set up, we shot ourselves in the foot. We had no chance of getting out of there, of getting anything out of that game by not having Gannon Doak on the pitch. If you don't want to play Gannon Doak, we also had Curtis. We needed to play somebody who is a bit of an outball, someone who is unpredictable, who could have a go at the Moroccans. The team that we started with just didn't give us that. Obviously, I personally would have had McKenna playing, but I believe he has been injured all week, so fair enough, Hanley plays. He's dropped too deep for he's too late to step up for the goal. It's a really, really poor goal to concede, and probably that at that point it felt like we were heading for a proper doing, which was a bit of a sickener. And then 2 minutes after they scored, we get the text that our flight home has been cancelled. So you can imagine the mood we were in at this moment in time. We did go for it a little bit later on, but obviously we never had a shot on target. I don't want to moan too much, but the refereeing performances we've had in both games has been utterly shambolic. How we got 3 players booked in the first game and Haiti got none, I will never understand, but what went on in that Morocco game is just unbelievable. 2 penalties you could probably say could be given, maybe soft. I will never understand how the boy has not been sent off for dragging down Che Adams as he runs through on goal, especially when you watch the Belgium game and the boy gets sent off for the exact same thing. Don't want to dwell on that too much, because I do just want the time away to have been the good time, the Tartan Army being the greatest people on earth. But it's hard not to get pissed off by shit like that. And I've said on this podcast quite a few times, I do kind of follow rugby. See, when you're sitting in a stadium with all this non-segregation, there's Moroccan fans right behind us, that was awful. It did not help with my anger at that moment in time. See, when we're not getting any decisions our way, and then there's a boy behind me just shouting, that was a dive anyway, or every pass they make, he's going, nice. That just doesn't belong in football. There's a lot of stuff around that World Cup which just isn't good enough. We got what are apparently cheap tickets for that game at £350 each. Everyone else seemingly spent more than that to get to that game, and I just think that's a joke. That's not what football's about. You need people to go. Why are we charging so much money to get to... They're trying to bring the World Cup to a new country, get people to go to games, and normal people cannot go to that game. It's an absolute shambles. We met a guy in a wheelchair after the game who had spent £500 for his ticket, and he was telling us that the Tartan Army were only given 5 disabled slots, and when he did, and also up in the fucking heavens with us as well, he had to roll, or he got somebody to push him, thankfully, up like, it was a ramp the whole way up, but you're up way high. Complete shambles. He shouldn't have to do something like that. And he says that once he was there, it was all able-bodied people in the disabled seats. It's just I think there are so many parts of this World Cup that are an absolute joke. It is going to go down as, for them, one of the best World Cups because of the profits they're going to make on it. But this is a poor World Cup. It's not good for the fans. But I want to be more positive about everything. The week away was just incredible. Boston is amazing. It's now covered in statues with cones on their heads. I'm hoping that's a tradition that the Bostonians will stick to. We drank the place dry, and apparently they're one of the heaviest drinkers in America, so something to be proud of too. But yeah, overall, being away with the Tartan Army, I couldn't possibly recommend highly enough. It's one of the best things you can do. We just go out, we have a really good time, and people love us for it. We're loud, we're obnoxious, but we're polite and funny with how we do it at the same time. So, yeah, my overriding memories of this will be of that, of the good times we're having, not the little bits that have pissed me off around FIFA and everything they want to do to make profit out of football, which is not what football's meant to be about. Overall, we're good guys, and now the world can see that, not just us. I've always been a proud Scotsman, and probably never been more proud of us than that week away, because I don't think there was any issues at any point anywhere. We were all just great. But now back home, and I have been keeping up with the Aberdeen news. So looking forward to a new season now. I think we've made some good signings, and to be honest, the squad's, thinking about it, the squad looks quite good. So good manager, good squad. Let's have a good start to the season. I think we're at a point where I'd like us to stop signing players and get some people maybe out the door before we bring anyone else in. Squad feels quite bloated in some positions, but yeah, I think a very good thing is what we've not done in the last few years is get our deals done early. We always say we want to, but we never actually do. We have done this time, and I think we have signed very well. I think the happiest I was though was the Alfies signing. Please, Stevie, please actually play those two boys. They are good enough, so let's get behind our own loons and let's do something this season. Let's see what Hearts did last season. Let's get up there. I'm not saying win the league, but split the Old Firm would always be nice, eh? Come on, you Reds.
We have finally reached part 4, the Stephen Robinson era. When we left part 3, the Dons were a mess. Jimmy Thulin was gone. Peter Leven's caretaker spell had run its course. We'd just been embarrassed by Dunfermline in the Scottish Cup. Confidence was rock bottom, and the fans were wondering where the next win was actually coming from. Enter Stephen Robinson, the man tasked with dragging Aberdeen away from trouble, rebuilding belief, and somehow salvaging something from a season that looked destined to be remembered for all the wrong reasons. So let's look back at the final chapter of Aberdeen's 25-26 season. So on the 21st of March, the Dons travelled to Mordor to face Rangers. Not the best place to try and start your career as Aberdeen manager. Went there to try and hold them out as best we could. We did okay for a bit. The midfield of Armu, Geiger and Palaversa looked like it could grow into something good for us. Goal came from their League Cup, but we offered nothing going forward. Our defensive frailty showed yet again. Rangers didn't have to do anything special to break us down. They just had to be patient, and we'd let them in.
Pretty much mistakes again.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to talk any more on that one.
No, defensively poor. The only good thing was Geiger's goal.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
Really good finish.
It was like Connie said there, that three in midfield, we thought that was going to be something special coming.
Yeah.
Turned out not to be the case, but for that one game.
Yeah, it was one game as it turned out, but looked like something. I think it was maybe just because of the type of opposition those three works, and then we've learned later on that when we need to be on the front foot, that's not a three that you can have on the field. So, this was just Stevie Robinson trying to force fucking results. So,
yeah, the one good thing was no penalty to the Rangers.
Shockingly.
Yeah. So on the 4th of April, we headed over to Paisley. Stephen Robinson's second game in charge was against his old club, and that went amazing, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Robinson turned to Paisley went really well. I think this game was a point where I think relegation was starting to become a bit more probable and a possibility, to be honest. Soft goals to concede from them. I mean, that just isn't like us. I mean, whole season been fantastic, so I don't understand how you can concede soft goals, to be honest. We didn't react to get out and block shots, edge the box. Keeper should have saved some of the shots as well. And again, they score from a corner. I mean, really poor result. And I think that was the game where I think we started to think we could go down. We could get pulled into the bottom two spots, or bottom spot, to be honest. And this is where I think one of the rants comes from one of the podcasts as well about our own fans turning really toxic that day.
Yeah.
The fans started to really jump on, or one of the fans specifically started jumping on the subs who hadn't even gone on the pitch yet at that point. And it was a fucking disgrace, to be honest.
There was also this one fan who stormed around Pittodrie making some weird video afterwards.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That weird one.
I'm going to take the opposite to that. The opposite approach is a fucking legend.
Cheers, Chris.
Made an unbelievable run.
Quid's coming later.
That
don't know where one of you start or finishes. You're so far up each other. Fuck, you know.
That rally cry changed things for a lot of different reasons.
Yes.
It also changed things for us.
Yeah.
With exposure on BBC Sports Scotland on that. This is fans only.
Yeah.
Get that right. And then, a few more approaches post that. So that was the turning point.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people weren't happy, maybe possibly with Robinson coming in, but he made his goals pretty clear when he came in at that point to get safe. And a lot of things we talked about in the podcast around about that time was how the fans were getting really toxic, etc., weren't helping the team, and I think that's where the video is born. That David does, which then changes the fortunes and changes the whole entire look of the rest of the season for us.
Look, the thing is, I don't know. I've never been in. No one from the club has contacted me about this video. I don't know if the players saw it. I can only assume that the amount of people that saw it, especially on X, they do have social media.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't. So if it had an impact because we won our next game, great. It did what it was supposed to do. And if anything, it maybe there was some people out there that didn't like it. It galvanised them and took the hatred away from the team and put it onto me.
Yeah.
The thing is, maybe we would have beat Hibs anyway. Maybe we wouldn't.
Yeah, maybe it had no impact whatsoever, but for the sake of just filming a video, it's getting a point out there where Aberdeen, we need to be a little bit more together at this point in time.
Yeah.
We don't know what impact it actually did have, but it's something that you felt needed to be said. I think it needed to be heard. Fuck knows, but as we say, we won the next game.
Yeah,
so
exactly. A couple of days after the video, Hibs came to Pittodrie. Got a little bit lucky, I would say, but we got a 2-0 win.
Yeah, finally something to cheer about in this demise of ours after Quaney's amazing rally cry, which they obviously heard. So early on in the game, Donkey Hanley gets a red card because Olasanya's making an absolute menace of himself. Hanley brings him down, penalty to Nisbet, puts it away, perfect. Up 1-0, and Hibs down to 10 men. We had to wait until later on in the game for a second goal, but Hibs, to be honest, didn't offer much at all. We put in a much better performance through the whole game than what we've been seeing. Obviously, Robinson's style of play and ideas are starting to come into effect. We're starting to see what he can do. At the end of the day, he's just coming in just now to steady the ship until the end of the season. Keep us, it's all about survival, and then he'll worry about it next season. So, job done, 3 points, on to the next game.
Yeah, completely agree with that.
It's just always nice to beat the Hibs. So.
No, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking spoon burners. So, the Dolphins welcomed Kilmarnock in their first game after the split. Really felt like a must-win game for us. And luckily, we got away with a 1-0 win.
Yeah, not a classic by any means. Started the game obviously very well. Long throw in. Jack Milne does his usual, takes the ball down, lays it off to Armstrong. A lovely wee pass inside. Army with a shot and it bounces into the back of the net. Effectively could have blown the full-time whistle then. Two teams fighting for survival. I'll be honest, I wasn't impressed by Kilmarnock this game. I didn't think there was much about them at all. We just had slightly more about us. I did feel like a little bit of positive atmosphere returning to Pittodrie. Yeah. Just being around the club was a little bit happier at this moment in time. So I was starting to turn towards Stephen Robinson at this point.
Yeah, Kamara hadn't won a game away from home since September.
September, was it?
September.
Yeah, remember. So, yeah, it's not surprising we won. And get off the split with a win, which is excellent.
Yeah.
2 wins, two undefeated. After David's rally.
Yeah. So then we headed down to Livingston on the 1st of May. 2-2. Twice the Dons led. Twice we let Livingston back in. A really good goal from Frame. The opening one cuts inside, smashes it. Really good finish. Our favourite, type of goal to concede. Shocking from a set piece. Which we should do better. But it shouldn't have even been 1-1 at that point. Olasanya's clean through, and fuck, I still don't understand what he did.
Yeah.
We definitely saw the best and the worst in Olasanya in this game. He makes a great run. It's a horrific finish. But without him, I don't think we go back in front. He chased down a ball that he had no right to chase down.
Yeah.
Why is he wasting energy chasing that ball down?
Yeah.
Because he gets in front of the defender fouls him, and Armstrong puts in a really good cross, which Nisbet meets. It's going wide, and it hits Finlayson square in the bus, and Dons are back in front, and you've got to... We're playing as bottom of the league. You've got to be holding that out. But no, we let Muirhead shoot from the edge of the box. And
The one thing my dad said,
Yes.
don't let him fucking shoot. But we should have been out of sight in the first half, the chances that we created.
the way Geiger was playing in that first half.
Yeah.
We should have.
To be honest, that was the moment that changed the game, was when he went off.
Yeah.
Palovarsa just wasn't able to produce the same sort of
No,
performance.
he wasn't.
But again, there should have been a potential red card moment in there. That foul on Geiger.
Yeah.
I think so anyway.
Probably harsh to give it now.
Yeah. And then a week later, the Dons welcomed Dundee United to Pittodrie. 2-0 win for the Dons, and what did that mean?
Well, I mean, meant a lot of things, to be honest. I think first and foremost, the win secured us not being in the bottom two, which was excellent news for all of us.
Yeah.
And also the fact that it was, again, an undefeated performance after your video. So it was the 3 games on the bounce. Well done, you. We were in control of that game, to be honest. I mean, Dundee United.
3 at home, 4 at
4.
Mhm.
Sorry. I'll repeat myself. 4 games. Undefeated. Well, we're in control of that game, to be honest with Dundee United. I don't think, as I said before, previously about Dundee United come up, Jim Goodman, we don't really tend to have a go at us, really, Pittodrie. Always sitting. We talk about all the standing in the Livingston game. We had probably the worst miss we've ever seen in our lives, but this is probably the best game that we've probably seen all of a sudden play for us, really. He bagged an assist with a Stuart Armstrong goal, which was a really quality finish, really well taken, kind of just inside the box, into the bottom corner, a really good goal. And then he obviously bagged a goal for himself, which was always a positive for him.
About the 5th time of asking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. Really good performance from the team. We got the win, we were out with the bottom 2, and then Robinson then had that opportunity to now, keep us safe, and have a look at the last 2 games of the season and see where we're at.
Yep. I think that was the most important thing. So yeah, so we had our last home game of the season. And, for the 4th season in a row, it was not the last game of the season, which, fans of other teams can complain about how the split was decided. But the fact that we've gone 4 fucking seasons without playing our last home game of the season at home, again, we're just getting screwed over by the SPFL. So St Mirren came. They were obviously still in a position where they could get out of 11th, but we had nothing to play for, and St Mirren came away with a 2-0 win.
Yeah, so we tried and we thrived. We huffed and we puffed, but we couldn't blow the house down. St Mirren eventually came out winners after an absolute awful performance from us. We offered absolutely nothing. I'm going to say absolutely about 6 or 7 times here, but it was absolute shite. And then to top it off, you've got Killian the dickhead Phillips, who scores a goal and then continues to go towards our fans and towards his own, shushing. For what?
For what? Well, because actually,
whilst nearly going down.
Well, the point of the matter was, Killie were safe at that point.
Yeah.
So they were stuck in 11th place with a game to go, and you're giving it the big one.
Yeah. It meant absolutely nothing to them at all. It just proved what a dick he is.
Yeah.
But, a defeat. But it was a chance for Robinson to play some players that could get the chance to re-sign or play for us next season. So they were playing for nothing, but playing for their place in the team. And if that was to be the team next season, you won't be playing in the team, which we might see that coming very soon.
In some ways, it's obviously backwards to say, but I feel like this was a good result for us to get, because had we won or not lost for 4 games, we kept 3 clean sheets in a row at home, winning all those games. If we'd gone and won again, then there's a thought of, these players are good enough. We will get a performance out of these players.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they are shit. We need help. And that game
Proved it, yeah.
That game really proves it, and the following game even more so.
Yeah. Yeah. So our final league game of the season was at Dens. 3-2 defeated, which meant we slipped down on a position in the league. But yeah.
I mean, obviously we just covered this in our last season podcast. The phrase that sums it up powerfully is that game. It summed up our entire season.
Yeah.
Played well, played shite, got ourselves back into it, played shite, conceded 2 very stupid goals, lost to a team that we should not be losing to. If you want to know our pure faults in that, go listen to the last one.
Yeah.
And not be beaten at home by them
What was it?
in 20 years. They did it twice in the same season.
Yeah.
At home.
Yeah.
Twice. Sorry.
Yeah.
So once at home
lost
and
twice
then
since 1999.
That's some stupid.
Absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That's what I meant. Twice.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of teams got a win out of us this season.
But the main thing was, right at the end of the game, from a winning position, we're now drawing, just need to see out a set piece and simple goal from the corner.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of the Stephen Robinson chapter as well.
Has he gone?
Whoa! He's
No, he's not ending, but the season,
That's not right.
the chapter of the season review.
However, you don't know whether being Lutz. He could be gone.
What's he like?
Horneland's ready now.
There's one question I would like to kind of cover on here, and now that we've got the season out of the way, was he the right person to get the job when they decided
when he got the job, when the other was sacked?
Yeah. But when you're talking about when he got the job or when Tulane got the sack, when he was in their top 3 candidates.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
So I think if you go to now when he was put in place, yes, because nobody else really wanted it.
Nope.
But to be honest, he knows the league. He's taken a team like St Mirren to the place he took them to. So he's in Scottish football on paper, and we've seen it. He's got it.
I think when the day that, you and me were walking around the car park when the message came out that we'd been given permission to speak to him.
Both went, fuck no.
Yeah. But when I went away and sat down and thought about it and had a look at it, he 100% deserves this opportunity.
Yeah. He's
done so many games. We covered this in a podcast in Scottish football. He is an experienced manager at this level. Yes, it's at teams that you would class as lesser than us. But with what he's done at those clubs, he deserves a bigger opportunity. And that's what Aberdeen Football Club is.
With teams lesser than us finishing above us.
Yeah. And I think the frustration really is he could have been signed the next day after Jimmy was sacked.
Yeah.
So why
Yeah, but that's a hindsight thing. And
If he was signed the day after Jim was sacked, I think we all would have been really angry.
and I don't think he would have wanted Leafs to manage at that point.
No, he wouldn't have, just off the back of winning the cup.
Yeah.
But then, that means we maybe wouldn't have got him back then. So I don't fucking know. Is the answer.
Well, all I know is that when the phone call went to him, his only question was, when do I start? Now, I don't think that's the type of man. I think that, personally, if that's his opinion at the time, I think it would have been the same on the 5th of January.
Yeah, probably right.
I think the board also tried to get six candidates.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% they were.
Yeah, they were.
He's not an exciting enough name.
And it's not panned out and worked out the way they wanted, and it took too long.
And I feel the rumours we're hearing of the budget he's potentially going to be given kind of smacks of that's not the manager that the board wanted, but it's the one that they had to go for.
And to be honest with you, it'll prove them wrong.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
You will prove them wrong.
Yeah. We obviously went to Q&A. He talks a good game, which most managers
You have to wait until he's acted, but the early signs are very good, and every time I hear him speak, it's he's saying what I want him to say, which is very easy to do, but don't expect me to align with every point of view that I've got.
No. But
which he seemingly is right now.
Like I do look back at when he was the St. manager playing against Aberdeen, or he was the Motherwell manager playing against Aberdeen. I thought he was a little prick.
Yeah.
And I think he still is, but now he's our prick. And I like, especially in Scottish football, a manager needs to be animated. He is that. I don't think he's going to take any shit from anyone trying to be a passenger in this team. If you're not playing, as he says, for the badge on the front, you're not going to play at all. And I think he has the character. If he fails, it sure is fucking going to be through lack of trying.
Yeah.
So kind of just going on from everything that's been said, it's when he came in, he did all the talking that you want to hear, but it wasn't just lip service. Jim Goodwin, when he came in, said all the right things. You thought he's going to be great. Didn't act upon it. Didn't follow it through. Robinson, a different kettle of fish altogether.
Yeah.
He is doing what he's saying he was going to do, and
without having the chance to sign anyone as well.
Yeah,
exactly. Use what he was given and got performances. So,
and he is asking, and we've spoken about many times, playing for that badge.
Yeah.
And if you're not playing for the badge, you will not feature in his squad, let alone the team. You're out of here. Which I know that Jimmy kind of spoke about the players leaving, spoke about the players. Robinson's now done it. However, going into the next season, League Cup phase, that is where we kickstart next year.
Yeah.
Robinson's going to have his team. He's already brought in that 3 players before the end of May, which I can't remember the last time that happened for us.
We always talk about wanting to get our business done early and never actually fucking do it.
No.
So, good start.
Yeah.
There's obviously a lot of time left. Probably
Good
still
start.
a few players to come in, but
Yeah.
everything so far, big plus for Big Stevie.
Really looking forward to next season.
Yeah.
Although I'll miss all the League Cup phase. I won't be able to go to any game.
So that brings us to an end. Sorry, I've already said that part, but we finished the season in 9th in the league with 40 points, 11 wins, 7 draws, and 20 defeats. So when you take, I think, the cup games and the European games, we still lost more games than we drew or won, which is not great.
But according to an English pundit, and that 2 wins in every one game.
When Robinson arrived, the club was in a bad place. Confidence was gone. The fans were frustrated. Relegation wasn't just a joke anymore, and the team looked completely devoid of belief. Now, let's not pretend everything was fixed overnight. There were still poor performances, frustrating results, and moments that reminded us exactly why we'd spent the previous 2 podcasts questioning our sanity. But what Robinson did was bring some organisation, structure, some fight, and perhaps most importantly, some belief back to the group. The wins over Hibs, Kilmarnock, and Dundee United showed a team that was becoming harder to beat. Aberdeen were not playing brilliant football every week, but they started looking like a team again. Did he completely transform the season? No. Did he stop it from becoming an absolute disaster? Yes. Looking back now, the most frustrating things about the entire season is that there were flashes throughout all 3 managerial spells that you could see a decent side hiding in there somewhere. Thielen had moments, Leven had moments, Robinson had moments. But for one reason or another, Aberdeen never managed to put enough of those moments together. So before we close the book on the 25-26 season, let's open up the room. Looking at the season as a whole, where did it all go wrong?
Transfer window last season.
Yeah, recruitment.
Summer transfer window.
Recruitment, definitely.
Bringing in players that we didn't need to because we had already sorted out that position. Should have backed some of the talent. Obviously, I've spoken about this a few times through it, but if we had a team based around Sockler, Clarkson, Polvara, Palaversa, none of them we gave a fair chance to. All of them were good enough to play for Aberdeen. We didn't need to buy anyone in those positions. We replaced all of them unnecessarily. Too many players at the club, too many wages, and a lot of the players we brought in weren't of the grade that they should have been.
Well, I mean, it tells you a fact that it has to be recruitment. We've played 35 different players this season.
More than any other club.
More than any other club. That tells you the recruitment has not been right. And that's why the recruitment team are no longer part of this club.
I mean, there was so much at the start of the transfer window. Yengi's our number 9. I know I'm sticking to this number 9 position quite a lot, but that was an early decision made that he's our number 9.
Yeah.
Before the end of the transfer window, we brought in another striker because he'd already failed.
Yeah, agreed. But you're right to focus on that because the hardest part of football is putting the ball in the fucking net. If you don't have someone who can score goals, you're not going to win football matches. And unfortunately, it's not worked out for him so far in his Aberdeen career.
And the funny thing about that is, you look at the back end of last season before the Scottish Cup, we weren't scoring a lot of goals either.
No. Our last
we knew that was a problem. We knew that was a problem going into the bloody summer transfer window. Yet we still didn't fix the one problem in.
We had Nisbet, who had, through our spell of being shite, I thought he became a much better player season before last. We should have signed him at the end of that season.
I give him a proper pre-season without us giving him
we spent a lot of money on players that we didn't need to end up.
That's where I think we went wrong, was actually pre-season. 3 fucking friendlies to go play a team that's played 4
not even 3 friendlies because one of them was behind closed doors, but it's less than a friendly.
Poor. I think recruitment, you're right, pre-season was horrific.
So effectively we fucked it straight after the Scottish Cup final.
Pretty much.
We were chasing the season.
Yeah.
We were chasing everything. Like most games, we were chasing the game.
Wait, how many players could you say at all points of the season still look like he's in a pre-season? Milanovic was probably the worst one for that, just never quite ready. Milanovic would be the same. Lazetic was the same. I wouldn't say the same about Carlson, but dickhead, just didn't care. Wrong signing, and there's too many incidents of the wrong signing was made.
I think, one of the questions I've got here is which player was the biggest disappointment for me? It was Carlson.
For me, it was Milanovic.
No.
From early viewings, I was like, he's going to be my favourite player.
Okay.
And they were going to sell him, and I'm happy to see him go. So my biggest disappointment was him.
Did any of the signings actually exceed expectations? I think if anyone, it was Frame.
Mitchell Frame,
Yeah,
probably Frame,
Yes.
I think
obviously Mark over Gyamfi, but you have signed someone who's injured and he spent the whole season injured.
Yeah, but then the expectation of him is when you got the feedback from their fans, the fact that they've lost him, the expectation was we found a gem here,
and he wasn't.
I think as well, going back to Mitchell Frame, the expectation, he exceeded expectations because from when we signed him until we actually saw him, our expectation of him would have let down because he never got played.
Well, we're assuming we've signed this boy from Celtic because he had potential.
Yeah.
He's come in and we've gone, ooh, he's shit. No, that was my thing.
Yeah.
It's actually, he's not good enough. But
Yeah.
he
Clearly
clearly is.
He is.
The only other one I would put in there is Adamu as well. Because in January when we signed him, he hadn't played any games, and the first few games he did play,
A little bit ropey,
like not fit, played 45 minutes.
45
Fans were
minutes
like,
and-
oh, he's terrible.
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, we're like, actually, he's a fucking good player.
Yeah.
If you could keep only 3 players from this squad as guaranteed starters for next season, who are they?
Well, we know one of them. You've got player of the year has to be number one on the team.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Armu's
And
another
then
one.
Aramu, we've just spoken about how he went from only being able to do 45 minutes to playing a shitload of time. A great player, great performance.
And then for me, the other one has to be Nisbet.
And then Nisbet up top.
Yeah.
That's a spine.
That's a fantastic spine.
Yeah.
I would want Lobbin and Frame as well,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you can say guarantee start every single game.
Yeah.
With them right back or left back.
Again, it's Malloy. Malloy played in that, the last 5-6 games of the season.
Under Robinson, he really came back alive.
But I think that spine what you're talking about, I think it's right. That's a great spine.
How much of the improvement at the end of the season was down to Robinson, and how much was it maybe to players finding form?
No.
I think he's improved him. I think he just put a rock up the backside. He gave him a rollicking. Said, this is what you're supposed to do. Let's get it bloody well done. And they did do it.
I would say the upturn in form has to be put 100% down to Robertson because it's the same players.
Yeah, he didn't improve the players.
They're not better players now than they were before.
And
He just got them to
the ideology of you better fucking play for the badge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play for the badge, play for the cunt standing next to you.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So let's talk about the board. So a lot of this does.
Let's not. This could be a pod on its own.
Did the board act quickly enough?
No.
We'll do quick fire.
We've already said that.
The recruitment wasn't good enough.
You procrastinate for 2 months over a coach.
Well, first of all, procrastinate
your-
too long over whether to get rid of the head coach. Too long to bring in the next head coach.
No.
Yeah, and I think part of that as well, the fact that they didn't know who the manager was going to be, so they fucked it in January as well.
Our recruitment in January is really bad. We knew at the start, before the window, we needed to buy at least one defender.
Yeah.
Got 20 days to buy a defender, and it was a loan.
I think it's recruitment across the whole.
It's not
club.
just this season.
It's not just the thing is it's not just the players. It's recruitment in positions. Director of football.
I have
We
something.
got rid of Gunner, and it took us so long to get Lutz. And Lutz hasn't even given a chance really yet because still.
Well, he's had to come in to sort
Absolute
out the
shambles.
shit.
The fact that the person who's head of recruitment, you know what I mean, has signed all these players in summer, which have been horrific. So and he's now gone.
Yeah.
We've got the person who found Miofsky, Duke, all them is now back in play.
Mhm.
So maybe Mowbray will make a massive difference. So getting the right people in the right places is exactly what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I've sometimes
We've
felt
eventually
that
got there.
we've had too many heads of recruitment who have to try and justify the fact they've got a job.
Yep.
So as soon as they start, we've got to sign somebody.
Yeah.
So what's the point in having a head of recruitment if they're not signing players? And that's what's led to this. Too many players have been signed when we've already got a good enough player in that position.
It goes back to what you just said. There's been a few years of poor recruitment, and that's down to the fact that Mowbray left.
Yeah,
As soon as Mowbray
replaced
left,
by someone who's got
replaced, and we've not done.
Yeah.
And that's down to now board level recruitment.
Well, that's the very top now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking ahead, is Stephen Robinson the right man to take Aberdeen forward?
Yeah.
Outrageous to take it off him at this point.
I know.
Yeah, it has to be him.
What should success look like next season? Is top 6 good enough?
No.
Or is European a realistic?
I think at this point, top 6
Top
is good
6,
enough.
yeah.
I think we want to
You're wanting to get
dampen
to
our
a final
hopes
as well.
a little bit and just
Get into a final.
Yeah. Because the
At
fact
least.
that,
we need to be a club that is top 6 is our rock bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And also we should be appearing at Hampden. We didn't appear
yes.
at Hampden last season, which that's the first time since Stephen Glass.
Yeah.
So Goodwin took us to Hampden. Robson took us to Hampden. Leven took us to Hampden.
Fucking take it to Warnock. Take us to Hampden.
Yeah, he did, technically. He didn't manage at Hampden, but he won a Scottish Cup tie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should be going to Hampden every season.
And I think top 6 should be achievable. Because if
It shouldn't be a question.
you look at the top 6 this year, Hearts are going to struggle. They're going to find it harder.
They're not. Yeah.
Hibs might be in thereabouts. I don't necessarily think Falkirk are going to have the same season because they're going to lose players.
Yeah.
Same with Motherwell.
And Motherwell as well.
Yeah.
They've just lost their manager. So there's two specific teams, Motherwell and Falkirk. I might not
We should be aiming to finish above them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Europe's.
I don't think we need to look at Europe as
Just
obviously. I love it. It's what you want from the league, but I don't think we look at that as a target as such. That would be a bonus if we did get it. Our target is top 6.
Yeah.
That's bare minimum, top 6. Should the focus simply be on creating a team that fans can actually believe in again?
Yeah, 100%.
Need to get everyone back in unison again. There's far too much fractions amongst the support to the club, to the players. Everyone working together, and that starts with a team of players that everyone can get behind.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he's, as I said before, I think that's why he's the right manager. Because he will get that ethos and that mentality into the team that you fight for us as fans.
That starts from the atmosphere around the changing room. So the stuff that he was talking about them having, different groups that are all sitting in different rooms when they're that. Have them as one squad. If they all start to like each other, it's actually much easier for fans to start to get on board with them. Because you'll start putting out, in the age of social media, you will put out videos and that. You'll get fans more involved with the squad. And just build and build and build. Positivity builds positivity.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So when you strip away all the results, all the sackings, all the VAR controversies, all the late goals conceded, and all the weekly meltdowns, that's probably the biggest takeaway from this season. Aberdeen spent most of the year searching for an identity. The question now is, has Stephen Robinson finally found one?
I would say he's found one. He's getting there.
He's dusting around it. He's getting close to finding it.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's looking for.
Yeah.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah, let's just hope he's not you two. And that's where we'll leave it. 3 managers, 1 roller coaster season, far too many set piece goals conceded, and somehow we're still here, ready to do it again next year. Thanks for joining us on the Sheepfiddlers Season Review 25-26. Come on, you Reds.
Thank you for listening, and please like and subscribe. Please also look out for Sheepfiddler ASC on TikTok, Twitter and Instagram.